It was May 19th, and I was at my favorite club in New York, Heartbreak, and my best friend Polly was with me. And we were sitting on these red leather banquettes. They're kind of roundish seats, and they're tufted, and then we sat on the big backs, and we kind of sat on the big backs. Anyway, we're kind of sitting there. And I was just perched up there, and my dress was up to here, my shirt was down to there, and all I kept thinking was, oh my God, you're 40 and you're still so hot. I swear I said that to myself. Okay. And also, I was about to do a movie with Nicky Cage, and Nicky was 21, and I looked better. Just saying. All right, so Polly and I are sitting up there, and I'm just happy to be 40 and happy. You know, I thought I was just going to dissolve that night. But it was just so much fun, and everything was so gay and fabulous. And then I turned my head, and I thought, whoa, that is the cutest guy I have ever seen. So we were looking at each other all night, and it didn't go well, so I got bored and I went home. And I've been staying at my friend's beautiful hotel, and my lovely friend had just gotten out of, jail is the short time and prison is the long time. And he'd just gotten out of prison, and for tax evasion, like you do. And he was letting me stay there with him in his wonderful hotel. So I went to sleep that night dreaming amazing dreams of being 40, and then in the morning, there was a telephone call, and the man on the other end said, hi Cher, it's George Miller. George Miller was the director of Witches of Eastwick. So I said, oh hi. And he said, I just wanted to call and tell you that I don't want you in my movie, and Jack and I, Nicholson, we don't think you're sexy and you're too old. Yeah. Good morning, 40. It was terrible because I wanted this film so bad because I thought this would be, it would lead to my film career, which it did. But at that moment, it was like, you're too old, you're ugly, we don't want you, get out of here. So at that moment, the tears just started streaming down my cheeks, and I didn't want him to know because I just didn't want him to have the satisfaction. So I just was like biting the inside of my cheek and tears are rolling. But usually in Hollywood, when someone calls to insult you, they just do it and they hang up. But he's from Australia, so he just kept going on and on. I don't like the way you walk, I don't like the way you talk, I actually hate pretty much everything about you, and all of a sudden I was like, okay, look, fucker. I was nominated for Silkwood for an Academy Award. I won the Cannes Film Festival Award for Mask for Best Actress. Right? So you didn't find me under a cabbage leaf, okay? Click. All right, but anyway, I was still crying, and they're still rolling, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, these tears are fabulous. These are the tears you pray for as an actress. And they're just so lovely, you don't have to make any squingy face. And if you look down like this, you kind of look like a Madonna. And not the blonde one. Okay, so at that moment, because I'm just being a Madonna for me, my kids come in and they have a big birthday cake, and they have two bellboys to help them bring it in, and they were like, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday dear Mom, happy birthday to you. And then they said, Mom, what's the matter, you're crying. Mom, why are you crying? It's your birthday, why are you crying? And I said, well, because sometimes when ladies, young ladies, You know, they're very happy, they're excited, and they just don't know what to do with themselves. Sometimes they cry from excitement, and they bought it. And I said, okay, now go on, we'll have the cake later. All right, okay, so, oh, I forgot to tell you something. So, I was staying at my friend's hotel, right? And, but I owed him $28,000 and I didn't have it. Okay, there's something else. Alrighty, so, this is not gonna make sense for a little while, okay? So just do it. So, in America, we have someone like a mean Thomas Gottschalk. You know, because I love Thomas, but our guy is kind of not so nice, but he's funny and all that. All right, now I'm ready. Okay. So, anyway, since the beginning of time, David Letterman had always wanted me to be on his show and I never wanted to. And they'd always invited me. So, 3 days before my birthday, they called and said, how would you like to spend your birthday with Dave? And I said, I'd love to, for $28,000. And they said, we don't do that. And I said, then neither do I. Click. And so then the producer called back and he said, oh, all right, we'll do it. And I was thinking, cha-ching. So, but while we were on the telephone, he asked me, he said, Cher, just out of curiosity, just could you please tell me why you haven't wanted to be on our show? Because it's the highest rated show at nighttime and, you know, and blah, 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 things I weren't interested in. And I said, well, okay, this is the truth. David's very funny and he's very intelligent, but sometimes if he gets a guest on that he doesn't like, he can be kind of an asshole. And the producer agreed with me and hung. So anyways, it's the night of my birthday, and I'm there with Dave, and Dave is sitting here, and I'm sitting here. And so he's being funny, and I'm being funny, and he's being funny, and I'm being funnier. And then he says, so Cher, tell me, why haven't you ever wanted to be on my show? And my head exploded. Because in those days you couldn't say any bad words. So I'm trying to think of anything to do or say. I don't want to lie. I just can't think of anything. And while all this is going on in my head, unbeknownst to me, out of my mouth comes, because I thought you were an asshole. So look it up, it's kind of funny. Okay. So anyway, David said he was traumatized for 5 years, and I'm sure that's true. But we became friends, and he's very sweet. You know, he sends me a birthday card on my birthday, and they're kind of old-ladyish. Well, they're kind of old-ladyish even. They're like, you know, satin with little hearts or birds or kitties or whatever. And he always writes a lovely sentiment in script. You know, and script and is like cursive and you probably don't know what it is, huh? You're not going to need it. Okay, so at the bottom of this birthday card, there was lovely little sentiment, and then at the bottom he said, P.S. My mom always liked Sonny better. And it was like, what? What was that? And so I think he'd been heartbreaking. So anyway, that was it, and I was 40, and this is now, and I'm not. And I always hate to tell people how old I am, because I hate women who, like, they're older and they say things like, well, you know, I really know myself now, and I'm so happy, and I feel joy inside, and it's because I feel at peace with myself. Bullshit. Okay? I'm just putting it down there. Girls, you're lying. All right. So, okay, but I tell people my age because I want young women to know that they can do whatever they want. You know, they're not always going to want to do this, but, right? But I tell you something. I came from a really poor family. I wasn't very attractive. And I just wanted to be Cinderella. And my mom said, well, you'll have to be something else that's real. And I said, okay, then I'll be something else that's real. And so that's what I wanted to do from the beginning of my life at 4 years old. I wanted to be Cher. Okay? And I have had some nasty times trying to be Cher, I'll tell you. Anyway, so I just want people to know, and guys too, but mostly women. I just want women to know, young women, that you must fulfill yourself. It's so important. You've got to be who you are, and you've got to find out who you are. And old women, you have to find out who you are too and keep going and get another second life, okay? All right? And now I will be wisdom and tell you that I am 73. Yes. Yeah. And I always wonder if you guys clap because I'm still here or I can get into my costumes. All right, so we have to start this thing, and but I like to talk to people in the beginning because I'm shortly to become a blur. So now we know each other, and I can do be Cinderella. All right, so I just have one thing to say, and that is, what is your granny doing tonight?